Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast, adding games both new and old to your backlog, one slightly inappropriate episode at a time. And this one is going to be so freaking inappropriate. I don't know why I said that. It's not. My name is Christian, and no disintegrations. Oh, I mean, I've been to the Outer Rim once or twice. Joining me today is Amanda.
I'm suited up and I'm ready to get spaced.
That sounds dirty. And Taylor.
And I have zoomed all the way out.
Oh, where are we? Just quick. Where do we end up?
The world map. We're in space.
I can see everything.
It's
I
not
see
all the way
of
out.
it. And then there's little icons that represent everything, and it's beautiful.
Right. Oh, the burrito shop down the road. Yeah, that's there.
Yep.
Okay. This week we're going to be talking about Supreme Commander, Forged Alliance. Forged Alliance forever. Jesus Christ. Deliver us to the moon? No, deliver us the moon. Really fucking this up. And Star Wars TM, Bounty Hunter TM. There are two trademarks in this one game name, which is very, very strange to me. But first, Amanda, what is new?
What's new is some hot piping tea, as the people say. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna spill some tea, I guess.
A little bit of honey in it?
Some drama. Yeah, a little bit of honey. No chamomile because we're not gonna be calm with this. Yeah, I'd say Earl Grey. It's gonna wake everybody up. So I'm talking about what the heck happened with Forza 6 and how did shit get leaked before launch? Did you guys hear about this?
I did hear about this.
Yeah, so I guess that 155 gigs of unencrypted files that are the entirety of Forza 6. The whole game,
playable game,
showed up on Steam DB, and people went nuts and they downloaded it. And then Playground Games came out on May 11th and was like, hey, we're aware that there's a build of Forza Horizon 6 that has been obtained prior to release. This is not the result of a preload issue. We are taking strict enforcement action against any individuals found accessing the build, and they're going to be issuing hardware bans.
I don't know if anyone is watching the video, but I am actually shocked that I hadn't heard about this at all.
The whole game got leaked. They banned a guy. They banned a guy that was streaming it. He was live streaming, playing this pre-downloaded game and using Cheat Engine on it already.
Jesus.
And they banned him with a hardware ban.
As a marketing manager, this is my worst. This should keep me up at night. This is like a nightmare. You know, when that one movie, the axe is beating down the wall and that lady's hiding on the other side. And it's like, oh, that's freaky.
The Shining.
My axe, exactly. I haven't seen it, but if you say it's shiny, that's all good. That axe is an early leak of a game I'm working on getting released to the public.
Dude, it was 2 weeks before it officially releases, and this happened.
2 weeks.
I feel like this has happened again recently. Like, this is not the first time that this has happened this year.
Yeah. Well, SteamDB came out and made a statement as well saying they kind of, I feel like it's a little subtle. Pretty much, they kind of did a subtle, like, no, Uno kind of reverse card.
It wasn't me.
Where they were basically like, we believe that what has happened is from somebody, perhaps a reviewer or not, having early access files and releasing them on Steam because we don't do that.
We don't do that here at SteamDB.
I said it wasn't them.
I'm sorry to drill down into this. I don't know how much you both know. This was put because SteamDB is backing up all of Steam's live data. So did someone take the game files and make a fake Forza app and upload it, pay the $100 to Steam and upload the app? So how did it? So
that's the conundrum, dude. Yeah, what the heck?
The game was listed on Steam and was set up for preloading, for pre-release preloading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And something in that process allowed it to get leaked. Now, the Forza devs are saying it wasn't because of preloading, but it just happened at the exact same time as the preloading.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mystery of how it actually happened.
It feels a little sus because,
we should check in on this.
Everyone's saying it wasn't them. And then
it wasn't me. But I caught you fucking on the counter, Forza 6 devs.
Right.
Wasn't me. And you know what? If I see you anywhere near that counter, I'm gonna hardware ban you for life from the counter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's crazy.
That's nuts. That's
drama.
That's some horrible news for that developer. So sorry, but also feels like a checkbox issue. And by checkbox issue, I mean someone forgot to uncheck a box.
Uncheck a box, yeah. Or like, why wasn't the files encrypted? You know, like that's the real question. Because if the build had gotten released with encrypted files, no big deal. But it was all unencrypted.
Enough. Well, typically what happens
encrypted or cryptid.
Yeah, typically when they preload it, they'll preload it encrypted, and then when it's release day, Steam will go through with an update and basically decrypt everything.
They give you an unencryption key.
Mm-hmm.
Is the opposite of encrypt decrypt?
I like just made it that way. Yeah.
Well, I like it. I love it.
Decrypt.
Yeah.
Uncrypt. No? Okay. Taylor,
I'm not sure.
Well, in my news, the Steam controller sold out in 40 minutes.
Sheesh.
Were you counting? No. How did this affect you?
It did not affect me. I did not purchase a Steam controller, but a couple of members of our community were trying to purchase Steam controllers.
Yeah.
Were unable to.
Yeah, that sucks.
I guess they did not have a good system in place. I think they just really underestimated the demand for the Steam controller. And so, one, didn't have enough stock in place, but two, they didn't put a reservation system like they did with the Steam Deck or their other hardware in place. And so the only kind of anti-scalping measures they had was limit 2 per cart. But you could make as many, you could buy 2 and then go back and purchase 2 more immediately after. So there was just no anti-scalping measures. And then the server that processes the payments also was going in and out. So people had their cart ready to go, put all their info in, clicked pay, and then it didn't go through. It kept popping up saying, we're experiencing issues.
This sounds like trying to book an Albertan campsite. And maybe this is universal to booking all campsites ever. But like the second that page goes live, the whole 12-person family's on the phone. Everyone get on your browser, hit refresh a bunch of times, and maybe you'll get in. And then if you're in, sometimes it boots you. And then when you're ready to pay, sometimes the payment processing fail. It's like this fucking just mad dash to get the best campsites.
Well, if you want to be depressed, I think it's a lot of campsites. I had this issue in Washington. It is a huge problem in BC. I am super thankful that at least when I used the Alberta camping, I did find some sites. Well, kinda actually. The ones that you guys recommended, no, they were all booked up, and I was like, but of course, it's like 4th of July weekend. But yeah, it's rough, dude.
Yeah.
The other thing I
4th of July weekend. That's nothing
mention.
to us, by the way. Fuck the 4th of July. No, just joking.
For Banff, though, dude, who knows how many people Oh, yeah,
international travelers go in there. Yeah, I mean, Canada Day is also July 1st, so that falls right in the same time. Yeah.
But Steam Ocean Fest is happening starting May 18th. So get ready to get wet and wild in ocean.
Oh.
Christian did say this was going to be an inappropriate episode.
I'm feeling it's treading in that direction. Get it? Treading
water.
And Amanda, you just went crabbing earlier.
I did. Yeah. We caught 14 crabs, although not all of them. Yeah, but like all of them weren't correct size.
Did you have to throw some of them back?
Yeah, we had to throw quite a few of them back.
Can you imagine being that crab and you're in a crab pot, you get hauled all the way to the surface. Some giant hand picks you up, looks at you, and then throws you back in the water, and you sink all the way back down.
Fun ride.
It's even crazier because what happens is you grab them, and then there's like a little ruler thing, and you shove it right on top of them, and they're like, nah. And then you grab them by the foot, and you just fling them.
Fling them off, yeah.
And you go fly.
You're too small, crab.
And then he sinks all the way back to the floor.
He's sinking like 30. It's more like he's floating like 30 feet. He'll be fine.
Still pretty crazy. Pretty good. Yeah. You're preloading Ocean Fest, by the way, Amanda, in real life.
I so am. Yeah. I can't wait. Dude, I've been going down such a wormhole of like how to fish salmon and halibut. And I'm just going to be
Amanda was showing me people crabbing off of paddle boards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which that's a nuts thing to do. Just like go out on a paddle board with a
not the most stable water device.
No.
Guys, give me like 2 years.
Sit on those things.
Give me like 2 years, and that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. Yep.
Amanda's gonna be water native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocean Fest.
Ocean Fest. Destination, my house. So what's new with me is, guys, 400,067. No, hold on. I can get this. 400,060. Can someone help me?
467,582.
Damn.
Thank you. My brain is just not working. People were playing Subnautica 2 1 hour after launch, which is pretty insane, I would say. The most wishlisted game of all time on Steam, of course, is Subnautica 2. 1 million copies sold in the first hour, as reported by PC Gamer. So that means about $30 million in sales in 1 hour. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So a little background here. Krafton, the old publisher of Subnautica 2, and I think we went over the legal debate between Krafton and the developer a while back.
And we all landed on one side of that debate.
Fuck Krafton.
Yeah, the whole world did too. Yeah. Mr. AI, how do I? Jesus, how fucking embarrassing.
Using AI to come up with your legal arguments is not a good idea, folks.
Yeah, it's also like, it's evil and dumb. It's like the worst like Disney villain bullshit. So Krafton agreed to pay a $250 million bonus to the devs if they sold 3 million copies by year end. I feel like 1 million copies in 1 hour, right? I feel like Krafton it's time to pay up. They're gonna be paying.
Well, until they ask ChatGPT how they can get out of that, yeah.
ChatGPT, explain new math on how 3 million is now differently counted.
They're going to ask Cloud. Am I saying it right?
Claude.
I've used Claude many times, and I just don't even know how to pronounce
Cloud.
Cloud from Final Fantasy. They're going to ask him, hey, spin up 10 more clouds. And one cloud talks to each other, and this agentic orchestra
they're gonna pay
him
250 million in Claude tokens.
I don't know how it's going to work with these guys. 250 million seems like, this massive sum of money, like a debilitating sum of money to give for publishing a game you're no longer the publisher. Anyways,
I mean, so I don't know what the budget of the game is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's less than that even.
I would say fuck it. Let's run them for their money. Come on, DLG. This is call to action.
Everyone buy Subnautica 2.
Everyone buy a copy of Subnautica 2.
That's right.
Leave a review, #DLG bump. Make Krafton pay. That's the campaign this month. So it's 91% positive on Steam. My question is simple. Should we play this game as a group?
Yes.
Oh, I think I'd be willing to try. I did not play the first Subnautica game. I will throw that out there. I've never played the first one, so I'm not too sure about this one. But I'd be down.
He'll try anything twice.
I'll try anything.
He'll try the sequel of anything once. At least 3 times. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this would be a fun one to get together. And then Bobby, old caster Bobby on this show, beloved by everyone. Beloved Bobby, if I can be so bold, loved the original Subnautica. So I feel like we get him once a quarter. We said, Bobby, you're going to leave, but we can get you once a quarter, right?
Can we reel him in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll reel him in, measure him. Oh,
he's big enough. He's a keeper. No, we're putting him in the bucket.
Toss
him in the bucket.
Put Bobby in the bucket. We're eating him for lunch. He's going to talk about Subnautica too. So yeah, I hope we can get Bobby on the show to talk about Subnautica. And if we can all play it together, that would be cool too. And then I just wanted to mention Grubby's Warcraft 3 tourney officially kicks off tomorrow. So they've done all their ladder games. Ooh. They've practiced as much as they're going to do. I was watching Yamato. I was watching today. He was doing his last ladder game, losing horribly. And Grubby said, man, you don't want to cram right before the test. This guy should be relaxing or playing. Yeah, just chill, man. But he is at the top of the ladder rankings right now. So he's favored to win. He's practiced the most. We'll see how everything lands. I'm really excited. I'm still talking to Nick about it on the side, and I'll be watching tomorrow. So if you are around this weekend,
share the link in our Discord.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Let's see if we can get a watch party going. I'm going
to
be. What year is it? 2026? A watch party for Warcraft 3? Nuts.
Yeah,
Nutty.
baby.
All right. And guys, what did you play this week? Taylor?
I played the longest title so far, Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. Forged Alliance Forever.
I feel like there's just one too many Forged Alliance in there.
Yeah. So the title is extra long because the actual game is just called Supreme Commander Forged Alliance.
Got it.
Now, the Forged Alliance Forever part is similar to the Warcraft 3 ladder program Christian talked about last week. This is for Supreme Commander, so it's a third-party launcher client thing that allows you to play multiplayer.
So did I get you, Taylor, be honest, when I talked about the RTS last week, did you get bit by the RTS bug?
Oh,
you got bit?
It says right here in the notes. After listening to Christian last week about Warcraft 3, it sparked me to play this.
Sorry. Whoops. Buried the lead a bit on that one. Anyways, keep going. My bad.
But so Supreme Commander Forged Alliance is just the base game with the expansion pack. It's the massive scale RTS game featuring air, land, and naval units on giant maps.
Yeah, macro RTS in my experience. Although I'm sure you could micro if you were good at games.
There is micro in the game if you try hard enough. I don't. I'm not that good.
Select all units, attack. A click.
But what about the meta? We go past macro. Is there a meta?
There is a meta, yes. And the people that play on the Forged Alliance Forever client
I bet they suck. I bet they fucking
so good. It's insane. So I played a couple rounds of that, and then I was like, I'm going to play the campaign.
Yeah.
You know, I need some practice. I need to just play the game casually and not try to be competitive with these sweat lords.
Yes.
And so I ended up I was just going to play the one campaign mission. I ended up playing the whole campaign, all of it.
Oh, wow.
Start to finish.
Does it have...
This is the first time I've done that, so...
Well, that's super awesome, dude. Does it have the FMV scenes like a classic RTS?
It doesn't have the real-life actors, but it does have cutscenes and briefings and all of that goodness. You know, like you finish a mission, you get your debrief, and then you go to the briefing for the new mission. And in this one, as the expansion pack, they introduced a new race, which was the aliens. All the others are various types of humans. And so in this one, the campaign, you're playing as the humans fighting against the alien invasion. So weirdly enough, for an expansion pack, you would expect that the campaign would be centered around the new race that is now playable. It is not. You don't play as them ever.
Oh, you play more.
You play as the old ones.
Oh, we're gonna give you more of what you like. Just that's like the Frozen Throne releasing, and it's like, actually, you're all gonna play human again. You're like, what? But the undead are right there.
Exactly. It was kind of strange, but it was still ended up being a lot of fun. I do want to say that this game is, I think, one of the first ones that allowed you to zoom all the way out and zoom all the way in without having to go click to different screens, like click on a map screen or something.
Right.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So this one, I think, might be one of the very first games that did that. And the other kind of unique aspect of this RTS is the economy is done with it uses resource rates rather than the raw resources. So instead of sending your workers to go cut down trees and you bank up a bunch of wood, you have these fixed points on the map where you get mass, and then you can build power generators wherever. and you have an income rate of like 28 mass per second. And so when you build things, they are, during the building process, it's a rate rather than a fixed number. So it takes up 1 mass per second for building this item.
And if you don't have the resource, then the production stops until you replenish.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can keep building things even at negative resource rate, because you have a stock of mass or energy, and then once you work your way all the way through that, you can be at negative, but still actively able to build things. It just goes super slow.
Yeah. And that's one of the strategies in this game, is hitting your opponent's stock. At least I remember that. You want to make sure that your resource stockpiles are well defended, because that affects how many units you can be making out of that
if you
stock.
go and kill their resource generators, then they either can't make units, or they just make them so slowly they might as well not be making them. And so getting in those surgical strikes really helps. Of course, it really sucks when that happens to you. Like I wrote, managing economies is fun until your base is destroyed.
Yeah. And then it's like,
just like, oh, I got to rebuild from this. But instead of a nice new plan, I'm like building over the wreckage. One of the cool things that they do, though, is all the wreckage items you can reclaim,
cool.
and it hoovers up that mass and adds it to
There's also like a physics in this game. Like when you shoot down a ship that will become a wreckage item, it can like damage or destroy buildings or
that
units on the way down.
On the last mission of the campaign, there's a giant flying saucer unit that from one of the enemies, and it came and it started attacking my base. I shot it down, and I was like doing really well, but the giant wreckage landed right directly in the middle of my base and blew up like all my factories.
Yeah. That's like Battle of Scarif, right? Like the Star Destroyer going through the shield generator. Like I love, this game is so physical, because you're also tracking. There's a bunch of different types of weaponry, but the most basic flat cannons are like tracking. Like it's not 100% accurate, and it might go off and hit something else. The bullets that you're firing, something that you weren't necessarily shooting down.
It did
if
a
they're
bunch
flying
of
in
things
formation
like that early on in the genre, like before a lot of other games started doing that, because they were just right there when PC hardware was strong enough to start doing those other kind of interactions. Whereas before, in like Command and Conquer, the first one or two, they weren't quite there in terms of simulating stuff.
Yeah. I love this game, even though I'm horrible at it, but I do. I haven't played anything like it because of that physicality aspect. Yeah.
And now I'm gonna maybe start the second game, but I remember not liking it anywhere near as much as the first one, and I think it's very telling that the third-party client that people still use to play with each other is for the first game, not the second game.
Right. We'll just forget about the second one.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to reboot up the second game and give it a shot just to see if it's as bad as I remember, or if maybe I'm being too hard on it.
Yeah. I see your discussion point at the end here. What happened to the RTS genre? Are we in for a resurgence with the new Warhammer 40K games coming out? I listened to, I think it's like a 40-minute video essay on someone's theory on why we've fallen out of RTS. Very similar to an argument that Bobby has also made, which is we have just evolved out of this type of game, except for nostalgia bait stuff like Age of Empires 4, or like games that we're the boomers now, basically games that boomers feel comfortable playing because they've always played those games.
Right.
The kids are not playing RTS. There's
no one's picking them up. There's no new players.
Yeah. There's not enough of a feedback. When you lose, it really sucks. The time investment into the game is so long, like 40, 30 minutes. And you see it in these new titles that came out, that they're all no one's like really inventing the wheel, right? Like they're all relying on this nostalgia
They're
sort of
taking pre-existing games and just making sequels to them, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Or there was that new one, Tempest Rising, that I played, but it was exactly Command and Conquer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And it was marketed as such too. It was marketed
exactly.
Like we're from the makers of Command and Conquer. We're making a new Command and Conquer, basically.
Yeah. This is more of what you like, but it's like, well, actually, specifically, I like Command. Like, if you're going to make the exact same thing, like, I'll just play fucking Command and Conquer because I love it, right? Like, yeah. So, yeah, are we in a resurgence for the RTS genre? I would be really skeptical.
These new Warhammer 40K games are coming out. We've got the new Dawn of War and the new what's it called? The Total War as well. So there's the new Total War Warhammer 40K coming and the Dawn of War 40K.
Well, the thing is, if we're talking about RTS specifically, like I see the Total War games as a positive experimentation on what an RTS is, and that's why it remains interesting. Like Iron Harvest, Company of Heroes 3, like all these kind of solid games coming out, and they're just not really breaking through like they would have 20 years ago, right? Like there was a time where everyone was playing these games.
Iron Harvest too, I was pretty excited about because it was new. It was a new IP.
Yeah.
Trying, it wasn't just Companies of Heroes 3. It was a whole new game. And
it is fun. It is a fun game.
It is. It's a lot of fun, but it just didn't quite break through. That one also wasn't perfect. Like I think if they made a second game or a big expansion pack, they could really improve that game a lot. But I think you're right in that we just don't have many new players coming to the genre, and it's kind of just for nostalgia at this point. But hey, I'm happy to consume all the nostalgia products because I love the genre.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah. All right, Amanda, what did you play this week?
I played a pretty large narrative game. It's called Deliver Us the Moon. It's made by Wired. They were having this like Wired Productions 18 years publisher sale going on where there was a bunch of stuff on sale. And so this game is basically you are an astronaut who needs to fly to the moon. The year is like far in the future. Earth is pretty stripped of all of its resources. And so people went and colonized the moon, and they found that they actually could harvest helium from the moon and then beam it directly to Earth to receive it, and then they would keep energy on both the moon and Earth. So like this was stabilizing Earth's like weather system, especially that was like one of the big ones because Earth had gotten to the point where there were these huge sandstorms. Think of kind of like what Mars is now, or like Jupiter. Like that's kind of what was happening to Earth.
Jupiter's
a
with
gas
all
giant.
of the crazy, but with all of the crazy storms that are destroying everything, that's kind of what I mean with that. The big storms.
It's cool that you can see that with your Birdwalk. You look at a telescope and you see
the giant storm,
and you can see it kind of swirling a little bit. You're like,
the big
my
red
god,
dot.
Yeah.
Like,
or
by the way,
fucking the storm.
It's terrifying that's
Can you
going
imagine? Like it's bigger than Earth. That one storm.
I thought it was like 30 Earths.
Yeah, it's much bigger than Earth.
It's insane.
Sorry, this is
one storm.
No.
Anyway.
I mean, and it made me think of Jupiter just because, like, you have this moment where you shuttle off of the Earth just as a storm is coming in, and when you go around it and you look, like, it reminded me of that big, huge storm that you see because you can see it on Earth as you're flying towards the moon.
Spaceship?
Yes, you get to. Yeah, you're flying a shuttle. So, like, your whole thing is that you're kind of. This game has very minimal, like, puzzle, very minimal gamey game things. I kind of approach this game like I would watching a movie, or like how I would even with Dispatch, there was still dispatching and the hacking, and that's way more than what this game has. But this game
is like a walking simulator.
Totally, it's very, very walking simulator, but it's also like truly directed and done really well. It feels like a genuine movie, and you're by yourself, and yeah, you're just hearing this scientist whose father was the one that designed this entire, like they call it the microwave something that's a P.
The microwave oven.
It's like the MPT is like what it stands for. But like you think of the microwave, and actually one of the cute things that I'll give them as like a world building, because they have all these little details in the game of world building. So like little comics strewn about, or like science magazines that you can read. One of them was somebody's kid drew a little kid holding a microwave and lights were beaming up to Earth. Which is
fun.
Just adorable. So anyway, this connection of energy transfer breaks. Like there's just this huge blackout that happens. Earth goes back into kind of being in this like destroyed state because they don't even have enough energy to go up to the moon to figure out what's going on. And they're not hearing anything from the moon because the whole moon is blacked out as well. So they spend like, I think it was like 20 years. It was a large amount of time just trying to gather as many resources as they could to send one shuttle to the moon. And you're the asteroid on that shuttle.
And
astronaut. Yes.
Why? So they've spent 20 years doing this, right? 20 whole years gathering everything to send one shuttle to the moon. And they only put one person on it?
Yeah, a lot of people have died at this point. Like, Earth is kind of a wasteland in a lot of ways.
Surely there's more than one person.
For sure.
This is an energy issue. I feel like
it's an energy issue. Yeah.
Let's put some coal in the oven. Let's fucking drill some more. Like, let's not be precious about it.
Drill, baby, drill. At this point,
just not. But dude, there's nothing. Like honestly, the Earth looks like Mars. No, the Earth looks like Mars. Like, so try and think of if you were on Mars and you had to build a shuttle to go to the moon. How long and how difficult that would be when you don't have water and you don't have fuel.
It'd take at least 20 years.
Yeah, right. A long time, dude. So anyway,
we're picking apart a narrative that sounds decently good, actually.
Yeah, and it's done really well. The story is actually really solid. You have to go through, but there's one little gripe I have about it, which is kind of one of my biggest top talking points, is that in the beginning I very much was looking for at least a little bit more of a challenge. Like, for example, you go up to go to the shuttle and there's like all this emphasis on the shuttle launching sequence. There's like papers thrown about it, things. And I'm sitting here like from the small amount of time I played the blueprints, I was like, I need to take a picture of this because this is going to be important because there's 9 different steps and there's tons of buttons and tons of shit. And I'm going to need to memorize this because that's important, right?
You gotta launch the shuttle.
Exactly. I finally get up there. And for starters, once you like get enough juice going to the shuttle for the pre-launch, they give you like 30 seconds to fucking get there. And I'm like, oh, geez. And then I get there and then the timer's just gone. And so you have unlimited time to do the actual launch. And then they have like a picture of what I took a picture of right in front of it. And then the thing, which is fine, but the thing that killed me was that they went like step by step. Like you literally couldn't do the next thing until they talked about it and like they were guided you through it. And I'm like, man, I almost feel like you're holding my hand a little too much with this. But I will say what impressed me actually is that while I played, because I beat the game, and while I played it near the end, they got a little more challenging. Nothing crazy. It's a lot of things like you see a piece of paper that's like memorize this code, and you need to punch in that code to get in through a door. So it's nothing nuts, but they start adding like stealth. They add moments where there's like this one moment where you finally connect the shuttle to the space station that is connected to the moon, and there's an elevator that goes down to the moon. I feel like we've seen that in Foundation. I think they have that in The Expanse as well.
Right.
Yeah, like the classic
space
the space elevator, exactly. So you get there and you have to turn on the elevator, and so like things start moving. You finally get to where like you can get the station to move to generate energy to turn on the elevator, and then it just a wing fucking explodes and you get launched out into space. And then it turns into this like timed thing where you have to go through. It reminds me of like when you're flying and you have to go through the rings in a certain amount of time to get there.
Like Star Fox.
Exactly like Star Fox. So it's like that, but it's in space and you're going through debris. And I've been binging the fuck out of The Expanse, and it just got to the point of seeing a bunch of like drummer and a bunch of belters like scavenging and pirating, and it just like brought me right back to that, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude, space me up. But it's good. I feel like this is really, really good. You kind of go through the entire station on the moon watching holograms of what happened.
Is it creepy?
You know what's it is and it isn't. I think what's creepy about it is you guys touched on it actually earlier about how terrifying Jupiter is. I think that's the creepiness of it, is that they've done such a great job of this world building to like make you feel the gravity of like what your mission is and make you feel the loneliness that is when you're like up in space, and that's kind of terrifying. You have like,
are there other people on the moon?
No, kinda. Like there's some in cryopods, but like no, there's nobody living and no one to interact with. And that part felt like Project Hail Mary, where instead of having a rock alien, I just have like a little robot that flies. But you use the robot actually to solve some of the puzzles, which is cool. And then the robot also plays holograms if you're at the exact moment of where an event happened. So that part's
like
a lot
history
like
lesson.
Exactly. And it reminds me so much of Detroit Become Human, because they did a lot of that in Detroit Become Human as well. You like replayed crimes and replayed moments through like kind of a hologram of it. And that's how this is as well, which is really cool. So you get this feeling of like you're going through the history of what happened, and there is like quite a twist. And I was genuinely shocked both in who I actually was and what happened.
Would you ever spoil it for us? Would you ever say, because I'm never going to play this game.
I will will never play this either.
Someone listening might play this, but they can. This is plenty of
warning.
They can
stop the podcast.
Or skip ad. Press the 10-second button twice.
If anybody is interested in playing this game, right now, I believe until the end of May, it is $4. $4 USD.
And you've written a wonderful
price.
Story plot. Like, it's a great we're about to spoil a great story, presumably.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, you want me to spoil it then? Okay, so this is a warning.
Yeah, for me.
This is a warning to our listeners. I'm about to spoil this game. Okay. So here we go.
Do we have a warning noise?
There we go. Yeah, like boop boop boop. You got something on the soundboard?
A gong?
Yeah. Alrighty.
The gong of warning.
The gong of warning. So when you get to the space station, you find out that there were two people that were manning the space station. The names were Sarah, and then the other one was, I think, Ross, or something with an R. And I should remember that because it's important later. Anyway, so Sarah and them, they both go down to the lunar colony to find out why the hell did all the power go out. And this is the power that is keeping civilization alive on Earth. So it's a big fucking deal. So they go down. But there's only, like, because of the power outage that just happened at the base of the moon, they only have 40 minutes of oxygen. So they only have 40 minutes to figure out what the fuck happened and turn the shit back on. When they get down there, the colony, there's two main people of the colony who have decided as a council that, or the council, that they are going to take all the resources that they've been mining and launch shuttles of their own to get the fuck off of the moon and go to Mars, because they feel like the Earth isn't worth saving anymore. So there's this like coup that happens where they steal everyone, and they don't even talk and they don't even talk to the people about it or if they want to do it. They straight up have like
they just did
gangs. Well, they have gangs of people going and literally pinning, tackling, and hauling people off into shuttles to ship them to Mars, because they're like, we're doing this.
You're going to Mars whether you like it or not, baby.
They first address this as like an evacuation. It's for your safety. So you go through all these things, learning about how all this propaganda that they had of like going to all the because there's many stations on the moon.
See,
and
this
you go
is a
to
direction
them.
I did not expect this game to go.
Yeah. And so you go to these different stations and you find out that like, the evacuation teams went to each one and they were like, hey, for your safety, we have to get you off the moon. It's unstable, so we have everything ready. And there are lots of people that were like, no, we don't need there's no proof. Because it's an entire colony of scientists. And they're like, no, there's no proof. We're looking at the data. There's no need to evacuate. And then they get tackled and shuttled off. And like tons of people are like that. There's one station where one guy like went fucking nuts. You find like beer bottles and like all kinds of like crazy shit drawn. And he like straight up sabotages the entire evacuation team. And that team was not successful, but all the other ones were. And so you go through and you find this out. And then you find out that the one girl, Sarah, she like runs into all of these little, I said there's these little floating robots, right? Well, one guy rigged and hacked them to actually being enemies that were shocking and killing people. And so they unleashed them onto people that were still staying there. And so Sarah like dodged it. And then she ran into the guy that invented the whole beaming like microwave transmitter thing. Like he built it, and she runs into him because his daughter is really sick and in a cryopod. And so he wanted to load them up into the last shuttle and send them off. But she catches him before that happens. And then they work out together, but then he sabotages her, stabs her because she finds like the last fuel. And she's like, we need to use this to save Earth. And he's like, no, and stabs her.
We need to use this to go to Mars.
That's what he said.
My daughter's dying.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what he said. And he's got a daughter on Earth. That's actually the person that is talking to you. And then you come to find out this entire fucking time, you were the other guy that was on the station. Like I said, I should have remembered his name. It's R, like Ross or something.
Ross?
But like,
so you were Ross the whole time?
You were him the whole time.
How did you get to Earth?
Yeah,
so
wait,
it's because remember I said there was that 40-minute window that they had. And so Sarah and Ross ended up splitting up, and Sarah got trapped by those robots that are bad, and she couldn't get out in time. But he did. He evacuated and got sent back to Earth with the evacuation team for that group because they were like, the power's out. We have one shot. So they spent all that time on Earth like building it back up. So
he didn't remember all this?
No, he did, but he doesn't talk. Like you don't talk at all. In the
you're
game.
A silent protagonist.
And so a silent protagonist, and it turns out it's him the whole time. And then you get to the end, and it's like you're building up the reactor. You get all this shit together to finally fix it and send it. And you do. You fix it, you send it, you beam the energy back to Earth. It's saved. And then you get like electrocuted as fuck from like a pushback of like initiating it after so much time. So then you're like hurt, and you're like weaving in and out of consciousness as you have to like move the actual satellite dish towards Earth because that got unaligned. And so it's like, that part was honestly so hard to like move it. I was like, all right, word, here's I wanted a difficult challenge. Here we go. And then at the end, as you're dying out, you see and come across a cryopod, and you see that it's Sarah and that she actually was saved at the very end. Even though she was stabbed, the guy felt so bad and brought her to a cryopod, and it saved her because it was like, it's like The Expanse when they put him in the bed, whatever, bay, and they're just like, boop, boop, boop. Okay, cool. Now I'm healed. And
now you're saved.
Yeah. But they did that. And so then it ends with like him dying out, sitting right next to Sarah. And it's probably because he felt bad for abandoning her because, yeah, she was like really upset, like, don't abandon me. And you can hear him on like the hologram, like calling to Earth being like, don't launch the evac. Like, we can still make it. We can still make time. I can go get her. And they were like, no, you need to leave now. And so then he did. But then, yeah, you find out that you were him the whole time. It's crazy. It was awesome.
What a really cool story.
Yeah.
And then, so this is part 1 of 3, you're saying?
Yes. So this is part 1 of 3. The next one I'm absolutely interested in. I'm just going to wait till it goes on sale. Just cause it can, right? Like this game went down to $4. And then because I actually own Karma, The Dark World, which was also made by the same publishers, I put it in a bundle and I got it for $1 cheaper even for some reason. So if you're going to buy a game that's on sale, check to see if it's in a bundle with the games you already own. It actually might be cheaper than the game on sale, which is crazy. But that is what happened to me with this game. And it's just $1, but still, it's nice. But anyway, Deliver Us Mars, it takes place where I think they said it's like 30 years later, or it's some time later.
You can get Deliver Us Mars for $8.99 at the Humble Store right now.
See, okay, then maybe I need to continue it because the second story is you go to Mars and you find out what happened to the people that left the moon and went to Mars.
And what are their motivations? And their imagine being kidnapped.
Did they build up a society on Mars?
Well, from what I'm gathering, like they got wiped out too, and so you're also exploring another like abandoned place. But I don't know. I didn't look too much into it.
It'd be crazy if this one actually was populated.
Yeah.
It's not the best setup for your civilization for like 90% of people being abducted. Right.
Yeah. Like we're forcing you to, I guess they cool off on the long trip And then when they get there, they're like, all right, guys, let's get to work and build a new civilization.
Yeah. And actually,
let bygones be bygones.
Yeah. And it's one of the things I think really they used the character Sarah, she was a software engineer on the station where she came down to like really kind of show how absolutely stupid like this whole thing was that they were doing, because she was like, how could you be so selfish? It's not even going to work out. Like, it's literally the dumbest thing to just launch. Like, we don't have any data or any resources to start new. It has to be this. Like, why would you just give up on this? And so it was done really, really well. And it's crazy because there's like no characters other than your silent protagonist, and yet this entire world just like completely unraveled. It was wonderful.
And then Deliver Us Home, if every single place you go is abandoned and there's this horrible thing, seems like
maybe
the
home.
third installment.
Maybe you're the last human at that point.
Well, I'll get into Deliver Us Home a little bit because I did put that on my what I want to play, but so I'll get into that a little bit.
You're gonna skip Deliver Us Mars and go right to Deliver Us Home?
No. But Deliver Us Home.
Can't skip it.
No, I won't be skipping it, but I'll get into it. But first, I want to hear about. We've got a hell of a theme of space this episode, don't we, guys?
Yeah,
some spacey things.
Supreme Commander is kind of spacey as well.
Kind of spicy.
I thought this episode was ocean themed. What are you trying to pull?
It was space whales can be ocean based.
Space
right?
is the ocean of space.
That's true. Space is the ocean of the universe.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah.
What is your favorite space game or universe, and why is it always The Expanse? It's hard to beat. I will say hard to beat. This is reminding me of an Orson Scott Card series I read as a teenager. I forget what it was or what the series is called, but essentially a group of humans is on this colony ship. I think it's like a 6-part novel, and the interesting things that happen on the colony ship, and because astronauts, whenever they go to space, they say, "Hey, look, you don't realize it, but Earth is a spaceship. It's a closed system, and you got what you got. And if you fuck it up, you're fucked." And then when we have these stories in colony ships, it's just that idea under a microscope. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of feeling like this story is trying to do, and that's what the Orson Scott Card did.
If we ever want to travel through space, we just need to invent ginormous rocket boosters and stick them on Earth and use Earth as our ship.
You've always said that.
Ooh.
I've always said it.
Maybe we just need to find a proto-molecule, and it will. It's probably in our oceans, dude. It's probably in the ocean.
It's down there with the octopus and the weird fish.
Something's down there,
angler fish. I think we need to harvest the light of the anglerfish. Yeah. Why are they glowing? That's mystical.
Because they're meant for space.
Yeah. But in the Orson Scott Card, you have a gunfight on a ship and basically everyone's fucked. It's kind of like if humans nuked each other. It's like the same.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Mutually assured destruction.
It makes me want to reread that series again. I feel like it's
going to be hard to reread it when you don't remember what it's called, though.
I'll find it. Orson Scott Card. He only wrote a couple books, right? This guy. He wasn't like a prolific sci-fi writer.
Nah.
I played Star Wars TM Bounty Hunter TM. TM, of course, trademark. I have no idea why Bounty Hunter is also trademarked.
Right. That's the weird one. Star Wars, you understand why it's trademarked. Bounty Hunter. Words Bounty Hunter.
Can no one else make a game called Bounty Hunter?
I guess not.
It's kind of crazy.
Disney got it, or I guess this wasn't even Disney at the time.
This was pre-Disney, yeah.
Pre-Disney, yeah.
Disney would have put a third trademark in there.
Yeah. It would have been Disney TM, Star Wars TM, Bounty Hunter TM, Grogu TM, Surprise TM.
We should have a contest, the most like R TMs C that we can find.
That you can do in one
There's
game.
going to be a game with 3 or 4. There
has to be.
So
probably a movie game.
This game is nostalgia bait. The gameplay is you bring your bounties in, dead or alive.
Because you're wanted.
Dead or alive. Yep.
God damn. Big missed opportunity to not have that soundtrack and that song in this game. And I want to emphasize that it's more on the dead side. They're like, bring them in dead or alive.
Mostly dead.
And my fingers on the right trigger the whole game, and I'm like, yeah, but they're all dead.
With the dual, you have the akimbo pistols, right? In this one,
yeah,
right? The two
and they
blasters.
They shoot in different directions too, so you can kill 2 people at a time. It like auto locks.
So
it's really
cool.
This game feels like a boomer shooter. A lot of running and gunning. I'm rolling through Trandoshans, Bith, and alien, never humans, just associated aliens that are up to no good, I suppose. I kind of feel bad.
Most bounties aren't on humans, I guess, in this world.
I guess, yeah. There's like innocent bystanders wherever you go, and they like cower, but your auto aim automatically will kill them too. So
really, you can just murder as much as you want.
And I don't really have time because the auto aim is so useful to kill all these enemies that if I actually took the time to aim my pistols properly, first of all, I can only focus on one enemy at a time. Already it's cut in half my efficiency. So I just go into every scene and I'm just blasted.
Blasted. You just got blast.
So
there he is, guns blasting.
I first played this on like a 10-inch CRT at my neighbor's house.
Way back in the day.
Way back in the day, like one of the old, probably of like a security cam.
Small portable TVs.
Exactly, yeah. His parents were big on the anti-video games, but he had a Nintendo GameCube, and they bought the smallest screen possible to make it as unenticing to play. And he had like very strict time limits. Like he could play for 25 minutes, I think, then he had to jump on the trampoline. And there was multiple times where him and his parents kicked me out because it was just me down there playing
on
Star Wars Bounty
own.
Hunter. Yeah. And this game was only on the Nintendo too. So the remake, bringing it to PC, is a pretty cool thing. Like we get to now, obviously, who has a GameCube anymore, and few people. So we get to bring this to the PC, and you get to relive the nostalgia. And it is nostalgia bait. I want to be clear. The game is fun, but the game is incredibly basic. What are you doing? You're running. You're gunning. Sometimes you're jumping. Rarely do you scan for a bounty. There's like a weapon type. It's a bounty hunter scan. And you can scan all these NPCs and you can see what the bounties are on their heads. And then it'll be like, dead 10,000, Jabba wants them. Alive 20,000, Jabba still wants them. And these credits, when you get the credits, you don't like buy weapons.
You don't
or
spend them on anything?
Nah, they're just kind of like points in the background. Like this is an arcade machine and you have like this running credit total, which is the points. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm here.
They're just here to shoot bitches.
Like, don't take me away from the game, which is the running and the gunning, right? To make me do some scanny bullshit. Like, that's not the game. Playing without the controller was basically impossible. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe a remake for PC has such bad controls. So I ended up playing this on the Steam Deck and it worked perfectly. It was
awesome.
It was like it was meant to be, no performance issues at all, but still kind of disappointing that a remake for Steam, the PC
wouldn't
platform,
have mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, or like they wouldn't put any effort into making that part of the game. They're remaking the game, but they're not going to add keyboards. Anyways, I want to tell you the game story, guys. I really do. There's like, why was Jango Fett chosen to be the leader of the clone army, or the clone for the clone army? How did he meet Count Dooku? How did he get his famous ship?
These are all questions I have.
Yes, Slave One. Questions you've been dying to know.
Yeah.
I read the answers to all these in books. So this game, I was like, this is a worse version of what I already know, like a far worse version. And it's pretty forgettable, honestly. The best part is that this game is voice acted by Tamura Morrison. So all the cutscenes at least feel like you're in Star Wars, and it has a great soundtrack. So the ambience in that way is awesome. It's a run and gun game. Almost nothing special is happening here. If you didn't play this game back in the day, you're probably not going to be interested in it. But I still did have a fun time, and it gives me hope. I really loved an Xbox exclusive game called Star Wars Obi-Wan that you can play on an emulator for free, obviously. But if they were to remake that game, it's got to be in the runners-up somewhere because they're remaking all of these, right? Like Dark Forces.
I had memories of this game from playing it when it came out, and I felt like growing up, no one else I knew had ever played it. And it was one of those games I'd be like, do you remember that game where you're a Star Wars bounty hunter and like you're shooting a bunch of guys and explaining this? And everyone was like, no, or they'd bring up some other game. And it just always felt like some kind of lost game to me. And then when you randomly brought this up last week, I was like, oh, it's true. That's it.
Yeah. And Taylor, that's exactly the same experience I have with Star Wars Obi-Wan. Like, I'll talk to my brother. I'll be like, remember we had this game on the Xbox? He'll be like, no. We used to play all together. We used to have duels. He'd be like, nothing about this is jogging any sort of memory. I was like, I remember we used to play the duel in the house, then go in the backyard and choreograph a lightsaber fight based on our duel. He's like, I remember the lightsaber fights we had with the sticks, but the game, that didn't exist. Sorry, man.
Wow.
Damn.
He's gaslighting you. That's what I've learned this term.
Gaslighting, yes.
Gaslighting.
Have you been gaslighting lately, Taylor? Have you been a naughty boy?
Yeah. I'm gaslighting all the time. I'm trying to gaslight everyone I meet.
Right. Okay.
It's difficult, though, I will say, and people get upset when they find out you're doing it, but it's a worthy goal.
Okay, what achievement do you unlock with it? So it's just, you got a lot of gas?
No. It actually tells you there aren't achievements.
You're right. Silly me, you're right.
It's trying to gaslight you into thinking that there are no achievements.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if that bit is going to do anything for anyone, but I had fun. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we want to play? Taylor, I'll start with you.
I want to play Mixtape.
I've heard this word so much. I've never clicked on the Steam page. I have no idea what it is.
It is a coming of age tale set at the end of high school.
Okay.
It apparently has an amazing soundtrack. When you look up like news
Mixtape.
articles about this game, I mean, it is called Mixtape, but like the PC Gamer article be like, oh, well, Mixtape is this new game that doesn't have a streamer mode because the licensed music is so important that they can't take it out. And that reminded me that streamer mode is a thing in the first place.
Totally, yeah.
And I'm like, good for them, I guess. Like, I don't know. But it does make me want to play it. It's been extremely well reviewed. And like 10 out of 10 on IGN. A bunch of 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s. And then I saw PC Gamer put out like 72. And it also said like, oh, this game has an amazing story. It's great. But it just didn't make me feel like I was playing particularly. Like their complaint was there wasn't enough gameplay.
Right. This isn't a gamey game.
So
PC Gamer.
This is seemingly a series of narrative vignettes with minimal gameplay.
Okay.
Kind of similar, I think, to 1,000 Times Resist in that way, where it's more, or like Deliver Us the Moon, where it's more a walking simulator type of experience. But it looks like it uses creative framing. Like one trailer I saw showed kissing, except that it's just two giant tongues and you're controlling one of the tongues. So it seems like they went a little creative.
Fascinating. It's fascinating,
right? Doesn't that sound fun? Just control a giant tongue.
We've all made out with someone who's a bit too excited, or maybe we've been that person when we're just learning how to swap tongues. It's all tongue. I never want to hear that. I never want to hear it's all tongue.
Like all tongue, baby.
Give me 50% tongue. I think that's the number I'm comfortable with.
Tone the tongue back a little.
I want a mixtape. I'm very sorry. You guys know me. I'm uncultured. A mixtape is when you make someone a tape with your favorite tunes.
Yeah, you put your own tunes on it, and generally you order them like you would a playlist these days. Mm-hmm. But you would put it onto a tape or a CD, and it would be your mix. So you created the mix and put it onto the tape. So you would generally put a lot of thought into what songs and what order they're in, and then you would generally give that mixtape to person you wanted to go out with or your friend or something like that. So
a
lot of times you handed the mixtape to someone. You made it specifically for them.
I still have
like a road trip.
Yeah.
I still have a couple mixtapes made for me by my first girlfriend who tried to expose me to good music. And I will say they're beloved. Like I have them in a CD. I don't have a CD player anymore. I used to have a vehicle that had a CD player. I mean, I guess actually our vehicle does have a CD. There's inconsistencies in the story. I could play it if I wanted. I just haven't in a while. But that I have them is still special. Like this is maybe something that, I don't know, like an art form that's no longer going to be practiced. Like people aren't burning CDs or making mixes.
People aren't even making playlists these days. They just go on to whatever the auto playlist is.
Yeah. Sometimes the auto playlist is so good and sometimes it sucks so bad.
Yeah. Remember
Spotify.
Back in the day, you'd go on to Pandora because it was the best of the auto playlists. And now no one even goes on Pandora anymore.
I don't know what the Avatar planet. I don't know what Pandora.
You don't even know what it is?
No.
It's
like
a streaming website.
But it had a feature where it was kind of like a radio, where if you think of like the Spotify radio,
you would type in a song that you really liked, and then it would play that song, and then it would make your own personal radio based on that song. So it would play songs that were similar. Or that went well with it. And at the time, no other websites were doing that. So Spotify didn't have smart radio or whatever. So it was just Pandora.
I've never heard of this. Thank you for educating me. Hopefully this game gets you right in the feel. What sort of nostalgia are you? This is like an 80s, 90s set?
This seems like it's more 90s, maybe even a bit 2000s. Nostalgia. So it's leveling up for the people who are now getting old, so instead of 80s based nostalgia, we're hitting 90s and 2000s based nostalgia.
Nice.
We're aging up into that age range.
Officially.
And I'm excited to see that.
Getting old. Yeah, when they're catering all this, we're like, oh, there's only remakes now. That's how my parents probably felt when.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Amanda, what do you want to play?
I want to play, I talked, obviously, there was 3 parts to the Deliver Us series. There's Deliver Us Moon, or Deliver Us the Moon, Deliver Us Mars, and then the one I want to play is Deliver Us Home. It is not out yet. That's why I put it in my want to play. I'm definitely going to play the Deliver Us Mars. However, what I found really fascinating about this one, the 3rd installment, is that it's, of course, another single-player narrative experience like the first 2, and it takes obviously influences from the first 2 in with this one, but they really made it a point that this is actually going to be a standalone and like separate game. It takes place 100 years later from the original games, and you are on Earth. And so I kind of love that already, just based on that too, because we first start with the moon, then we go to Mars, and then it's full circle back to Earth. But it's unrecognizable. So it could be the first or it could be the last, depending on how you're playing it, right? Super cool, because that's your home.
It could be the first or it could be the last.
As in, it could be the first game that you play because it's standalone. Maybe you play Deliver Us Home and you're like, I really like this. So then you go to Deliver Us Moon and it will feel like almost this full circle. Because Earth, in the videos and the things I've seen of it so far, I mean, it's beautiful. There's like, you're on like a boat in an ocean and you're like in the clouds and I can see green. So
it's not looking like Mars.
So it's not looking like, it's not looking like how it was in the first one. So I think that that's so cool. And there's upgradable things that you can do in this one. Like you can upgrade any of your vehicles or probably your boat. You can upgrade the robot companion because you still have that too. You can upgrade your space suit and everything. And so,
so there's more gameplay elements.
It seems like that. Yeah. So it seems like it's its own
PC
full-fledged.
gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, we heard you. Here's some more gamey game. And so,
now they're going to rate it an 80 for this one.
Right. But it seems like there's much more of an open world and much more things to explore and different clues and different stories and different things that you're just kind of unearthing and discovering. So I really hope that it's still bringing this like richness of a story to it. And I hope that it's different. Like I hope that I don't play Deliver Us Home and it just feels like, okay, you guys weren't ready to end the story at Deliver Us Mars, right? But I guess I had to play Mars first and then this and see. I'm just not sure. It's like that thing of when, you have like Saw 1, Saw 2 are really good, and then by the time you get to Saw 7, you're like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, I hope it's not that. Yeah, it's just too much.
Saw exhaustion.
Yeah, I don't want Deliver Us exhaustion is what I don't want. So we'll see. But already like the cinematography and the visuals in Deliver Us Moon is great, and from what I'm seeing in Mars, it looks awesome. I can confirm that later, but Deliver Us Home seems to be setting up a really amazing premise of a full circle cool experience of a little trilogy.
This is really cool that you've got this whole
I
trilogy.
love that you
to
found
go through.
this. Yeah.
Do you know when this game's supposed to release?
It just says coming soon, which sucks, but
yeah. It oftentimes on this podcast I'll get jealous. Someone else has played an awesome, very cool game that I will never play. Thank you for spoiling it. Thank you for being willing to spoil it on the show. I feel like because that's all I'll ever do, likely, I mean, I have a whole life ahead of me, but I'm probably never, I'm being realistic, right? I have a whole backlog, very small.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear you go through the next two.
We need a game called Deliver Us the Backlog.
Deliver Us the Backlog. Yeah.
Right.
The game I want to play. Oh, real quick before I go on to this, I did have a point. So we're not really ragging on PC Gamer for their, I think it's pretty much jokes, but I think what people, if you're a little disconnected from games media, let's say, which is most people, because who has time to keep track, the actual reviewer of the game is way more important than the outlet reviewing the game. And I think with someone who wants a gamey game, giving a 72 is probably completely fine. Like that's just their personal opinion. And then people often say, oh, IGN gave it this, PC Gamer gave it that, which is also true. It has the masthead of IGN and PC Gamer, so that's true. But if you are into games media, I would say find someone who reflects your
individually.
Yeah, that reflect what games you like to play, and then you can sort of trust. Like us, we're people that you might trust, right?
Yeah, it used to be an outlet would have like a couple of people and you kind of knew who was going to review what, but it's not like that anymore. Yeah,
lots of freelancers, and of course, media all over has been gutted and games media has been fucking eviscerated. So anyways, Subnautica 2, I was such a naughty boy. I was a naughty, naughty ocean boy, and I didn't fill this out before the show, right? So here are my notes. Subnautica 2. What is this game? Fuck, I don't know. You dive. You're underwater.
You dive, baby.
It is a story survival crafting game. That's what Bobby's always said. He said it was the first one that did a great story in a survival crafting game. You go from A to B to Z. There was a beginning, middle, and an end.
And you survive and you craft.
And that's it. So that's the game, I assume. Subnautica 2. I don't know. Hopes and dreams. I want to play it.
It's a co-op game, yeah?
Can go up to 4 players. Yeah.
I don't want to give any other details because I was not prepared. So that's all I know.
That's all we got. That's all we know about Subnautica 2.
I'd imagine if Bobby really liked it, it's probably safe to say there were no trees.
All we know is how many it sold.
He did say that. Yes.
We've got crazy data about how many copies Subnautica 2 sold, but we don't know anything about the game.
No. You dive. I'm going to play it. Yeah. Based on the sales data.
Hell yeah.
That says a lot about me and not a lot about the game. Sorry. Taylor, what's our community up to? We got some listener questions.
Yeah. So on YouTube, Marco A7263 said, listen to this podcast while sleeping and you'll wake up fluent in Latin.
Ooh.
In nomine Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sancti.
I'm kind of wondering what prompted that because I don't think we speak a lot of Latin on the show, but it'd be cool if that were true.
Oh, Dominus Vobiscum. Do you guys know what to say to that?
No.
You say et cum spiritu tuo. We used to be
et cum
poets.
spiritu tuo.
The spirit in me sees the spirit in you. It's a greeting.
Oh.
It's a greeting in Latin.
That sounds lovely. I like that a
And
lot.
then
I'm gonna start
afterwards,
saying that.
Afterwards, you say memento mori, right?
What? What? I don't know. Is that
Memento mori means remember that we remember death.
we remember death?
Yeah.
We used to have these elaborate greetings, and now it's just
Yeah.
hey.
Hey.
Yo.
Yo.
Or 2
Sa,
letters
dude.
at most.
Yeah.
Sa.
Sa, dude.
Sa. But we also
Hey, how
got
you
a
doing?
comment on Spotify from Boom Trout,
Boom.
which that's a great name. I love Boom Trout.
Such a good name.
Yeah.
He says, played many hours of Warcraft 3, never a single time played ladder. I used to play a custom game called Castle Fight
Yeah,
quite
you
a bit.
did. Yeah.
And I
we
feel like
fucking all
that
did.
game and many like it are so influential on certain modern games. Hard to believe how much of an impact those scenarios have on the gaming landscape. Cool stuff.
First of
And
all,
yeah.
no one's going to believe this is a real comment. This wasn't me. This is authentically Boom
Christian
Trout.
didn't write this one. We talked about it before this show because we were like, this sounds like something Christian might have written.
Right.
Yes. But this comment does deeply speak to me, I will say. I thank you for leaving it. I'm glad I'm not the only person who only clicked the ladder button once. And Castle Fight was such a cool custom game. If I remember this one right, you built buildings on each side of the map. It was a tug of war game, and they would automatically spawn units. And so you would build up this unit comp in this tug of war. Oh, they're going air. Maybe I should go piercing. And oh, now they went armor. Now I should go catapults. And it was like a 40 to 50 minute game. You'd build up income. And I recently played a game that was definitely inspired by that. I can't remember what it was called right now, but I was like, oh, it's the Warcraft 3 map I used to play. Great.
Oh, real quick. Speaking of inspirations, one of the things I wanted to bring up with Supreme Commander was that Mechabellum was clearly inspired by it. And they even share a unit.
Mm-hmm.
The War Factory in Mechabellum is just a straight ripoff of the mobile factory from
That is
Supreme
super
Commander.
fun. You know, I had a moment of weakness where I went to my library, scrolled down to my do not play, opened the do not play list, went down A, B, I went to M, clicked on it, hovered over install, went, is this the type of life I want to, is this me? Is this me right now? Am I in charge of my brain? And then I clicked off of it. I went, oh, not today, demon.
Oh, man, that was close.
Strong. You're so brave. So brave.
Thank
Christian,
you.
we need a before and after picture. Christian on Mechabellum and Christian off
Right.
Mechabellum.
I'm far more happy and productive, but holy shit, Mechabellum, that's great. That's a great one.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say thanks to those 2 people for leaving their comments. We had just asked people to leave comments, and now we're getting them. So thanks, everybody. Keep leaving comments.
We're not desperate, by the way. We just want you to leave comments at all cost.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Yeah, that's right. And to further drive it home, plug in this week. I'm going to plug our Discord. If you're not joining in and talking into our Discord and engaging in our Discord, well, what you doing? What you doing? So you can find it by going to dlgaming.net. There is the link to our Discord there. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. There's also an area for listener questions if you've got some more things that you wanna say.
And if you're not in the Discord, then you wouldn't know that. What's our Wordle streak? 301 or something?
We're at
It's
like
amazing.
303.
Yeah.
303. And the other day, there was this. It was today. Was it today? No, it was yesterday. It was today.
Oh, almost didn't get it.
Yeah, waiver. Got hit with the waiver, and 4 of us failed. I was like, "Are we gonna lose our fucking streak?"
Amanda saved it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys.
Scram
You guys are the
came in.
ones that recommended me to even play, and now I'm
I
addicted.
can't
Now
believe
it's how I
we're
wake
almost
up.
to a year. We're almost to a year streak on that.
That's
Awesome.
crazy. So yeah, come to the Discord, and if nothing else, play Wordle with us.
Yeah.
Shout outs to our executive producer, Truthbringer. Thank you for supporting the show at an above average amount. We really appreciate it. One day, I think we would like to do this full time as if the gods bless us in such a way, if we could be so lucky.
Podcasts.
The gods of podcasts. And that supporting us on Patreon really helps us. You get a little bit. You get a name in Discord. You get some other perks. Maybe consider looking at our Patreon. Or maybe not.
Take a look at it or buy our merch.
My name is Christian, and joining us today was, of course, Amanda and Taylor. Tune in next week because we might be diving into the unknown and saying "fuck you" to the land with Subnautica 2.
Man.
We're not. I'm sad that I wrote this. I think we should do it where we write each other's prompts. The host has to read what's. Yeah, because I don't want to know what this is until I'm reading the prompter.
I get you.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
New rule. Amanda, what's playing us out?
All right, guys. Well, what's playing us out is some
foreboding
Star Wars bounty hunter. Goodbye.
God. Like a fucking choir. We were perfect.